Now let's see conditions of working hours in a factory. It says that a worker cannot be employed for more than 48 hours in a week, and a weekly holiday will be a compulsory in a factory. If worker is asked to work on a weekly holiday as well, then he should avail the holiday on one of the 3 days immediately after the normal day of the holiday. A worker cannot be employed for more than 9 hours in a day. There should be at least half-hour rest, and it should be provided after every 5 hours of work. Total period of work including the rest interval cannot be more than 10.5 hours. Now let's see the conditions related to overtime wages. If a worker works beyond 9 hours a day and 48 hours in a week, overtime wages are to be paid double the rate of normal wages. However, the overtime wages are not payable on a tour. So if he is going on a tour, then additional overtime wages will not be payable. Total working hours including the overtime should not exceed 60 hours in a week. The total overtime hours in a quarter should not exceed 50 hours. Now let's talk about the provisions which are related to leave. Normal workers. So worker who is entitled every calendar year annual leave with wages at a rate of 1 day for every 20 days of work performed in the previous calendar year, provided he had worked for 240 days or more in a previous calendar year. About the child worker who is 14 years of age and above but less than 15 years of age will be treated as child worker, is entitled to 1 day leave with wages for every 15 days of work. Let's see about the maternity and layoff. While calculating the 240 days earned leave, maternity leave up to 12 weeks and layoff will be considered, but leave shall not be earned on those days. Leave can be accumulated up to 30 days in case of an adult and 40 days in case of a child. Further, it says that the leave admissible is exclusive of holidays which are occurring during or towards the either end of the leave period, and the leave cannot be taken for more than 3 times in a year. You have to note it here that these are the minimum benefits regarding the leave which have been prescribed under this act. Employer can provide additional or higher benefits as per his own will. Now let's see the employment of women. A women worker cannot be employed beyond 6 AM to 7 PM. तो morning 6 AM से लेके शाम को 7 बजे तक का ही वर्किंग आवर नॉर्मली वुमेन के लिए होना चाहिए. A state government can grant exemption to any factory from such a provision, but in no case women can be permitted to work during 10 PM to 5 PM. इसका मतलब रात 10 बजे से लेके सुबह 5 बजे तक women वर्क नहीं करना चाहिए. Shift change can be done only after weekly or other holidays and not in between. Act also define the young person and the adult. Young person is defined under 2D. It means a person who is either a child or an adolescent. Adult is defined under section 2A and it means a person who has completed his 18 years of age. Now let's see the conditions related to employment of children and adolescents. Children below the 14 years of age cannot be employed in a factory. However, a child of age 14 years but below 15 years can be employed for 4.5 hours per day. He should be certified fit by the certified surgeon and he cannot be employed during the night from 10 PM to 6 AM. A person of 15 years of age but below 18 years of age is termed as adolescent, and adolescent is not permitted to work between 7 PM to 6 AM. He can be employed as an adult if he has a certificate of fitness for full day work from a certifying surgeon. Now there is a condition of display on notice board is also there. A notice containing an abstract of the Factories Act and the rules made thereunder, and the name and address of inspector of the factory and certifying surgeon should be displayed on the notice in the English and local language. It should be displayed on the notice board by the employer. Now let's talk about the punishment to welfare officer. No punishment to welfare officer can be made without prior sanction of Chief Commissioner of Factories. However, a simple order of termination as per the terms of appointment is not a punishment, and such termination order is valid. This is what held in Arun Kumar Bali versus government. Now let's see the power of inspector. An inspector may exercise any of the following power within the local limit for which he is appointed. First, he can enter any place which he is used or which he has reason to believe is used as a factory. तो कोई भी जगह जो फैक्ट्री है या उसे ऐसा लगता है कि it can be a factory, he can enter into that premises. He can make examination of the premises, plant, machinery, and he can require the production of any prescribed register or any other document relating to factory. He can also take measures and photographs and make such recording as he considered necessary for the purpose of any examination. Now there are certain special provisions which are related to hazardous process. These are contained under chapter 4A, that is section 41A to 41H. And these were included in this act as per the Amendment Act 1987. First, it defines the term hazardous process. It means any process or activity in relation to an industry which is specified in the first schedule, where unless special care is taken, the raw material used therein or the intermediate or finished product or byproduct waste or effluent thereof would cause material impairment to the health of the person engaged in or connected therewith, or it may result in pollution of the general environment. Special provisions relating to hazardous process are given under chapter 4A, which covers section 41A to 41H. Section 41A talks about the constitution of site appraisal committee. A site appraisal committee shall be constituted by the state government to advise the government in the matter of examination of application for establishment of factories involving hazardous processes. The committee shall examine an application for the establishment of a factory involving hazardous process and make its recommendation to the state government within a period of 90 days in the prescribed form. Section 41B talks about the compulsory disclosure by the occupier. It is compulsory on the part of occupier of every factory which involve a hazardous process to disclose all information regarding the danger, including the health hazard. It should be disclosed to the worker which are employed in the factory and the chief inspector and to local authority within whose jurisdiction the factory is situated and to the general public which is living in the vicinity of the factory. Section 41C talks about the specified responsibility of the occupier. It says that accurate and up-to-date health record or medical record of the worker of the factory who are exposed to any chemical, toxic or any other harmful substance which are manufactured, stored, handled or transported, and such record shall be maintained by the occupier of a factory which involve hazardous process. 41D talks about the inquiry committee. In the event of occurrence of any extraordinary situation, the central government may appoint an inquiry committee to inquire into the standard of health and safety observed in the factory, with a view to find out the causes of any failure or neglect in adoption of any measure prescribed for the health and safety of the worker or the general public. Section 41E talks about the emergency standard. The Director General of Factory may be directed by the central government to lay down the emergency standard in respect of hazardous processes. Section 41F talks about the permissible exposure of chemical and toxic substances. The second schedule added to the Act indicates the maximum permissible threshold limit of exposure of chemical and toxic substances in manufacturing process in any factory. And all the occupiers of the factory are required to maintain those exposure within the prescribed exposure limit. Section 41G talks about the workers' participation in safety management. The occupier in every factory shall set up a safety committee consisting of equal number of representatives of workers and the management to promote the cooperation between the workers and the management in maintaining the proper safety and health at work, and to review periodically the measures taken in that behalf where hazardous process is involved. Section 41H talks about the warning about the imminent danger. If there is reasonable apprehension regarding likelihood of imminent danger to the lives or health of the worker employed in a factory, they may bring the same to the notice of the occupier, agent or manager.